How welcome everyone, Mr. Dlamini. Why, it's me. I'm the one who has employed you. I have to start the show. How? I am sorry. Please forgive me. I am very sorry. Is that Miss Elephant? She's blowing bubbles in me. Yes, no problem. And by the way, for any of you who just keep wondering what Mr. Dlamini keeps going on about bubbles and Miss Elephant, there's a video which has been put up on the network where Mr. Dlamini has gone to visit, interview Miss Elephant. So if you are asking questions about that, you can just go to that right now. If you have noticed, we have done away with all the credits and so on and so forth. According, the problem was with the upload. YouTube was having a bit of a problem with uploading all these different things. So we have done away with it. Plus, that will cut away a few seconds of the video. So that's how it's going to be. Anyway, you can look at the title to see what it is. Right now, we're going through the tactical analysis of the HARH Athletic versus Red Hurricanes combined league match. We have Mr. John Smith with us. If he needs Mr. Dlamini's help, we'll go to Mr. Dlamini and my Russian guest, Mr. Vodrowski. Hello, Mr. Vodrowski. Hello. Mr. Vodrowski, you seem to have a sore throat. I am from Rosia. From Rosia. In Rosia, it is very cold. Yes, very cold. Mr. Vodrowski, no problem. We'll just go over to Mr. Smith for the tactical analysis. Over to you, Mr. Smith. Thank you. Now with this tactical analysis here, we can see two teams set out on our tactical analytical board over here. Here, the red team is actually in this. They're playing 3-2. Well, and the yellow team are playing 3-4-1. Right now, I'll just go through. As both the teams, Red Hurricanes and HARH Athletic, were playing 3-4-1, I'll just go through the errors they made in this match as fast as possible. Okay? All right, Mr. Curry? All right, no problem. All right, Mr. Vodrowski? My name is Vodrowski. We know that. Is that okay with you if I just do it this way? Da, it is okay. And Mr. Dlamini, how? Yes, it is okay anyway. Anyway, Mr. Kara has told me to keep quiet, so I'm keeping quiet. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mr. Dlamini. Don't get too huffed up anyway. It's Mr. Smith. Right, here you go now, mates. Okay, here I go. Okay, we'll start with Mr. Sorry, not Mr. Sorry, here. What am I saying? A bit nervous here. I'm coming after a long time. So anyway, we'll start here with HARH Athletic. The mistake I thought HARH Athletic made is they made this player here. Let's call him Akshay Modak. We will have to call him Akshay Modak because this is Akshay Modak. It's Quack. Akshay Modak, the Quack. He unfortunately played in central defense, which was HARH Athletic's downfall. I really don't think he should play in defense, according to me, unless he's supported by another player. And as you can see in this three-man defense, there's hardly any support. If this fellow has moved out to the flank, then there's no support for this guy. His control has to be good. He wasn't controlling the ball. He wasn't at all. He was taking 2 or 3 seconds to release the ball. And unfortunately for me, Quack today, he had a very poor day. Anyway, we'll move on. So this team, they were missing the 2 players who always play in either left midfield or left central defense. That is Bellinger and Manan Joshi. They missed them a bit today, although the team is very strong. Even Madan here, he was a bit injured today. I just thought HARH Athletic defensively in this match, they made a lot of mistake and therefore lost the match. Regarding the other players, I thought they were still good. Anish here, who plays in left midfield, he just, unfortunately for me, he just sticks to the central area, and therefore, as I keep repeating all the time, therefore this entire area is left scot-free. I mean, for example, if Anish is over here and the left back is over here, and sorry, what am I moving him for? I am very sorry. So anyway, the left back is over here. Mr. Dlamini, stop interrupting. I am sorry. Stop using my tactical board. Why you? Please go sit in the corner. How can you talk to me like this? Mr. Dlamini, I will have to make you sit in the corner if you do stuff when Mr. Smith is supposed to be doing stuff. How? Okay, I am sorry. I am going to. I am zipping my lips and I am tying my hands and I am keeping quiet here. Thank you, Mr. Dlamini. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Smith. Yes, as I was saying before, if the left back has the ball over here and the left midfielder in a 3-4-1 formation, he should be over here. The problem was, if the Hurricanes are doing a good job in defending, we'll just take the red team for a moment, just for an example. Okay, so the problem is, as this player is not in position over here, and if this player, the left back, releases the ball over here to this player, he's already marked by this player over here. Now this player over here, this player who I'm moving around over here, this player here, he doesn't need to think. He just knows that that player is in front of him. It's easy to mark him. Yeah, now the problem is when this player releases the ball into space, this fellow will rush for the ball, and even this right midfielder over here will rush for the ball. Still, there's no chance of trying to get the better of the other team. You know, if you know what I'm saying, trying to get the better of the other team. You know, that's what I'm trying to say. There's no chance. The whole thing is, the mistake Anish was making is that he was not standing over here in readiness for his pass, making space. Therefore, it would have been difficult for this player to mark him, because then he would be wondering where he should go, whether he should go, here to cover, or whether he should go here to cover. But because Mr. Dlamini, oh, I am sorry. It's okay, no problem. We understand. Mr. Smith, if you can go on. Yeah, okay, I'll go on. And if you understood me by now, this is the mistake Anish was making, and it's only because of his talent. He's exceptionally talented, this boy, and most of the opposition players are right-footed. They find it very difficult indeed to defend a left-footer, and that's why Anish is always so impressive, because he's a left-footer and because he's so talented. And these tactical errors are not observed so much because of his talent. But I tell you one thing is that if he does move on to the left, right, if he does move on to the left and uses space, a Hardly Athletics game should improve a lot. One more thing I have to say about Hardly Athletic is this boy here, Ahmed Dermadikari. He's so instrumental in all the moves. So instrumental, this player, but sometimes he just loses his head and he should concentrate. One more player who's missing in the Hardly Athletic team and who Hardly Athletic missed, I'm sure, is Mr. Ashwin Gambhir, who is out for 2 months, as you know, and as soon as he comes back, still a long time, but they missed him today. I was impressed with another player before I take a break. Take a break? Why are you taking a break? This is you. I meant to say take a break from Hardly Athletic and moving on to Red Hurricanes. I am sorry, Mr. Dlamini. I am very sorry. If you go on, Mr. Smith, you're doing a good job. Okay, so anyway, this guy here, Zero, there's one incident where, sportsman spirit all the way through. He allowed Red Hurricanes to take the drop ball, and Red Hurricanes, unsportsmanlike, they just tried to attack from the drop ball. But I must say, Dairishil, since the start of the season, he has improved his temperament. He's going for the ball, and this guy is a star in the making in this league. I tell you, he just needs to get a little bit fitter. He looks more like a bodybuilder than a football player, but his history of playing fantastic football, I'm sure he'll do a very good job in the future. Let me move on to Red Hurricanes. Sorry if I've left anyone out. Over to Red Hurricanes. The mistake they made, well, today the mistakes they made were not so much. Although, I'm saying although, but admittedly they were not so much. They sort of enjoyed playing in this 3-4-1 formation. I'm quite happy. I tell you, they give away silly mistakes on top of the G and give away silly goals, but all their players played quite well. I'm very impressed with Amartya and Karan, who played well in the wing positions. although I do have the same complaint, similar complaint of same with Anish of Hardly Athletic, in which they don't use the flank so much, and if they did, if Karan remembers back, I'm sure he realizes that the times he did use the flank, he was able to move down the flank, dribble down the flank, and attack the Hardly Athletic goal. So the same issue with Karan is that he should use the flank now if he plays on the left. Of course, with Red Hurricanes, the Gaurav Panappa over here, DJ, he still has a lot of work to do, but today there was a sense of solidity in the team. The biggest mistake Red Hurricanes made was, the biggest mistake was they shifted Saga from up front, and they pushed him in defense in the last 5 or 10 minutes, and that's when they struggled. They struggled a hell of a lot there when they pushed Sagar back in defense, and I don't think he should play in defense. He should play up front. In fact, there's a good chance that he's going to keep Rajesh out of the side if Rajesh doesn't improve his form right now, because at the moment Rajesh is a bit off form. He tends to be a little selfish, and he should pass the ball around more like some of the other players. As usual, I can say that everyone else played quite well. I'm not too disappointed, although 3-4-1 worked for them, because the Hardly Athletic team today was probably a bit off form. I have to say that. Red Hurricanes were lucky to meet Hardly Athletic, a depleted Hardly Athletic squad, and Red Hurricanes should take this as a wake-up call and say, we can't play this way, we can't play well, we should just move a step forward and carry on, iron out all the creases and just carry on. I'm happy. One more mistake I'll tell you, which Hardly Athletic made, was when that's Zairashil Shawant, he was in such great form up front, and they pulled him off and pulled on another player. A couple of errors, but both the teams substituting players, and one or two mistakes, but I'm sure you'll see what I was taken of the photographs and the videos in the next video. I think that's all. Thank you. Mr. Curry, if you have anything else to say? No, actually, that's great. Thank you, Mr. Smith and Mr. Dlamini. Am I allowed to speak? Yes, you are allowed to speak. Mr. Smith, I have to say, I apologize. I am very sorry. I am very sorry for interrupting you. You never interrupt me, and I interrupt you. How? I am very sorry. It's those babbles of Miss Elephant. Both me and Mr. Cameraman had to go. I tell you that Mr. Fly also. How? They're very scared. Mr. Dlamini, how? You are interrupting again? Oh, how? I am sorry. I think I have to visit the hospital again. Yeah, no problem, Mrs. Smith. Thanks a lot. Mr. Vodrowski. I am Vodrowski. I am from Rosia. Okay, Mr. Vodrowski, I think that's enough from you. Okay, and here you go. Thank you. Thanks for watching.